Okay, hi. So we just constructed a solar and mains to load multiple priority switching system. So what this actually does is that when at a certain time in the morning, it transfers a certain load from the house to the mains or to solar. So for example, in the morning when the sun is up, at the time it will take the load to solar, so it's not impacting on the batteries and the mains of the house. Then at a certain point in time in the evening, it switches back automatically to PHCN. And then if there's no light at night, it stays off and remains on PHCN until when there's the priority now says it's morning, so you can switch back to inverter. So we're saving on um, electricity tariff, and then we're utilizing the inverter and we're not impacting on the batteries. And we can also prioritize by saying when the PHCN is off at night, it can move to the inverter for a certain time. However, it has a low battery disconnect, so when the batteries are low, it disconnects. This can be connected also to photosensors, so when it just senses the lights of the day, it disconnects. And also this is where the time priority is, where it disconnects. So this is the switching priority. So how it works is that this is where you override and switch off PHCN and leave, switch off inverter and leave PHCN, or you override PHCN and leave inverter. We're simulating a timer with this switch. So let's assume the timer is off and the priority is set to be given to PHCN. Okay, what now happens is that PHCN comes up and it's at night, but as soon as it's morning and the timer switches on automatically, which we are simulating here for the purpose of this video, it switches off the PHCN because it's morning and then switches back the inverter load. So the inverter continues to work for as long as possible until when it's time for it to go off. It's evening, the sun is going down. Now if there are times when it's raining and either the photo effect is low or the battery voltage begins to drop, which we will now set with the battery setup, which is inside. I'm not going to open the inside of this thing, so we can do that config inside. It reaches a critical battery low point, obviously not as critical, maybe just at let's say 40% of the battery load is gone, which means we still have 60%. So that's a critical interval. So this guy will switch it off. So this is to either bypass it or to switch it on. Now when it's time for it to disconnect based on time, it disconnects here, and then after a while the PHCN supply will come up automatically. Now if this is working at night and for some reason the light is not stable, but we still want to have the inverter supply light to the load, we can come here and turn on the priority here. We call it the night priority switch. So what now happens is that if for some reason at night PHCN goes, the priority switch will now allow the inverter to supply load to the house, and then like this. And then at any point in time, if the PHCN comes back, it overrides the inverter only at night and it gives you supply back to PHCN. Now if for some reason the night priority is on and the inverter is working, and then for some reason some of the conditions around the priority switch are met, like the low battery critical period threshold is reached, or for some reason the photosensor decides to say it's time, or also for some reason the timer config now decides to say also time, what now happens is that that switch over is done to inverter. So now because on inverter, whether the override is on or not, whether our timer relay or any other thing is bringing up or not, it doesn't matter. It continues to work until when this is off and for some reason we're no longer on the priority mode. This system is scalable. There's no limit to what we can make it do, how it can work, or to what extent it can control the system in your house. In the future, we plan to have a remote monitoring system where you can do your configuration and monitor your load and decide what to switch and what not to switch, and from any part of your house. Thank you.